teaching and the study of communications?
First 2 years of college, I wasn't sure what I wanted to major in. I was at a high school the other day, and I told them I kind of majored in baseball and basketball the first 2 years of college because I got to play both at a community college. And was trying to narrow down what I wanted to do, and I thought about teaching and coaching, thought about psychology, thought about business, a variety of areas, but I really liked the social science areas. And then I actually talked to an English teacher. I have a test one day, and so she said, "Oh, you need to be in public relations." And I said, "Oh, really?" And I didn't know if I should say thank you or I'm sorry or what. And then I took public speaking and really liked that. And that teacher said, "Well, when you transfer, you could choose to be in communication." So I did that and then came here to school and tried to play baseball. Didn't get to, but almost did. Another side story. But anyway, I majored in communication, loved it, and then went to graduate school. And while I was in graduate school, I had the opportunity to teach as part of my teaching assistantship. And I actually taught TV production. And while doing that, I realized I really liked teaching and thought that maybe down the road I might teach.
Okay. So is that why you're more in like the education field of teaching it instead of like going out and practicing? Like?
Well, I did. I was a PR director. I did that graduate teaching assistantship. And then worked in my doctorate. I worked in retail and management position. I worked in continuing education at Southern Mississippi, and then I worked as a PR director for a couple of years while I was working my doctorate. And I really love practicing public relations, and I still do a lot of things that, in fact, being department head and promoting the department, some of that relates to it too. But I've still stayed in the field, so to speak, with working with grants, and we did a school bond issue years ago, and I've done a lot of other things that still relate to the field. So I tell my students I consider myself a practitioner who happens to be teaching, not a teacher who's teaching PR.
So you're getting the best of both worlds, right?
I think, well, I enjoy both.
So you're getting to do what you really like.
Yeah. Should I wave or anything like that?
Here, we'll show your face.
Oh, no.
Okay, so what attracted you most to the communications and public relations kind of field? Is it like the social sciences, or is it just like getting to speak in front of people?
I like the speaking. I like the writing. I wanted to be in a field where I had the opportunity to write a lot, but not just write. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but I wanted to get to speak and do basic design and layout kinds of things and have a wide variety of activities. And public relations, what I've seen, you're never bored. I know as a PR director, I did a little bit of everything, so every day's different. I've gotten into photography, and I've done some video work, and so any way you communicate, and now we have all the social media, so I mean even Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and how do you get messages to a group? How do you persuade a group to do something? How do you get that individual to be a member of your organization? How do you get that group to donate money? How do you I just talked to 27 students who are juniors in high school about potentially coming into our department. So what do I tell them about the major that might make them interested in coming here year after next? So it's all about persuading and all about communicating and being honest and getting the message out and doing that.
Sorry. So how do you encourage other students to go into communications? Because I know a lot of students are scared of public speaking and they feel like that's all it is.
Well, one thing is writing. Writing's a big part of public relations in particular, and especially journalism. Obviously, we're talking about communication broadly. In journalism, you write all the time. Broadcasting, you write a lot typically too. In public relations, you write a lot, and then you speak a lot and do a lot of other things as well. Theater, I mean, you do a lot of writing. Comm studies, you do research and writing. So all of our areas, there's quite a bit of writing involved.
So it's something most people don't really think about when they think about.
Yeah, and the other thing I tell, especially if students change in public relations, is do you like to write? And often they'll say, well, yeah, I guess, but I always tell them it's not term paper writing, it's not the research paper you wrote in high school, but it's more creative or fun writing, like writing speeches or writing advertising or doing a billboard or figuring out what you're going to tell a group to convince them to do something, or writing something for the website, or writing emails. I mean, it's all sorts of different types of writing. It's not all, I mean, there's research involved and other things, but it's not 25-page term paper all the time.
So it's like you can add your own flair into your writing and show your personality.
Yeah, and different kinds of creative type writing. I told the high school I spoke to last week that I still remember in 7th grade, I took this 7th period class. We had like an activity period, and I took a creative writing class and loved it. We had to make up our own products. I've still got some of it somewhere at home, but we had to make up our own products and our own little jingles and our own slogans. I just thought that was the most fun.
I'd
And so
love
that's
that.
a lot of what you do in public relations, try to figure out, okay, what color do we need on our new logo? Or, okay, how can we make our slogan different? Or how would we make people think our bank is different than all the other banks in town if they're our client, and that
Okay.
kind of thing.
So it's kind of like combining like design and like getting used